and welcome to today's video. My name is Sandra, known as gain_strength_ on Instagram. In today's video, we will be talking about different ways for you to be able to track your progress. Whether you are wanting to lose weight, you want to gain muscle, you want to gain strength in the gym, we'll talk about different ways for you to track whether or not you're making progress in and out of the gym. Most of us want to live a healthier life. The thing is, we rely on just one thing as a way to know whether or not we're making progress. And we zone into this one thing without taking into account other ways that you can also track your progress, or without taking into account why you're not seeing the progress you want to see. The first thing we're gonna talk about is body weight, because I feel like this is the one tool that most of us use when we begin our fitness journey. We step on the scale maybe once a week, once a month, and if it's not going down over time, we start freaking out, we start getting mad or frustrated that we're not seeing any progress, which is why I feel like sometimes the scale can be seen as a negative thing. It can be a negative tool to use because it's only zoning in on one thing, your body weight. It's taking into account your water weight, it's taking into account any body fat you might have, any muscle, your organs, everything, right? So it takes into account everything about you, but you don't know how much of that is actual muscle. If you are, using the scale as a way to track your progress, just keep in mind, this is just a number. It's just a number on the scale. It weighs everything from your bone, your organs, body fat, tissue, muscle, everything. It does not determine what your value as a human, as a person is, which is kind of why I wanted to create this video of different ways, aside from the scale, that you can tell whether or not you're making progress. Because even if the number on the scale isn't going down, there are other ways that you might be making progress. Maybe the scale isn't going down, but you look different, you feel different. So let's talk about the other ways. So another thing you can do is body measurements. So what this means is you're going to measure yourself. Typically we'll use one of those flexible tape measures versus what you would see at Home Depot or something. What you want to do is make sure you're measuring yourself using the same tool every time. I would recommend you measure yourself the same day each month as well. So whether you decide on the first of the month you're gonna measure yourself, or maybe at the end of the month, just keep it consistent month to month. You also want to take into account where you're placing the tape measure as you're measuring yourself. And another tool you can use is body fat calipers. These are, it looks like little, maybe I'll insert a little picture or something, but they look like little clips that basically you'll place on different parts of your body to measure your body fat percentage, or your body fat in that region. And keep in mind that scales that have a way to measure your body fat or things like that, they're not going to be that accurate. So I wouldn't rely on those as a way to tell how much body fat you might have. Next up would be pictures of yourself, body composition pictures. So this would be a good tool to use so that you can physically actually see the changes in your body. And I'm sure you guys have seen these online where someone's standing facing the same way on a before and an after, and you can see whether their stomach is flatter, their waist is slimmer, that kind of thing. So make sure that you're always wearing the same clothes that when you're going to take these pictures, because what you wear can alter how you look. Now, for example, if you're a female and you're wearing a sports bra, if you wear one that's super tight and then the next one you use for the next picture fits you a little bit more loose, it's going to dramatically change how you look. If you're wearing high-waisted leggings in one picture and a low-waisted leggings in the other, you're going to look very different. So it's important to keep everything consistent so that the only thing you can tell the difference in is in your actual body. And this is a good tool. If the scale isn't going down, maybe these pictures are showing you actual physical changes that are happening to your body that the scale otherwise wouldn't show you. The next couple of points I'm going to talk about are things that we can directly impact. Now, the first three that I mentioned, the body weight, measurements, and the pictures, we can change the results of that. Obviously, it's going to be over time progressively changing, but these next couple of points is something that we can directly change. One of them is energy, mood, hunger, and stress. At the end of the day, we're going to want more energy, We're going to want to be in a better mood, and we're going to want to be less hungry throughout the day. Obviously going to want to be less stressed, because the less stress you have, the more energy. You're in a better mood to do other activities like working out, sticking to whatever your dietary requirements are for that time. And also with stress, your body is going to respond better to the changes that you're making when it's less stress. And now how we directly impact these 4 points that I mentioned, I'll actually be talking a little bit more down the line in the video, but just keep in mind, like, your energy level will be influenced by your nutrition. It'll be influenced by your sleep schedule. Your hunger will also have a lot of other factors that will play into your hunger level, as well as your mood and your stress. So while we can directly impact these 4 things, there are other things that we need to also control in order to impact that, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but let's continue, and then hopefully at the end it'll all make sense. The next way for you to track your progress is whether or not you're sticking to your diet. Now, keep in mind, when I say your diet, I'm not referring to following like a keto diet or and being in a calorie deficit. When I say the word diet, I'm referring to what you're eating, and depending on what your goals are. How likely are you sticking to it? For example, if your priority is to increase your protein, over time, have you been sticking to that protein intake goal? Have you been making better choices when it comes to your protein? So are you eating more whole foods versus processed foods? And this is something that we 100% can impact because we are making the choices of what we eat, right? Of course, it's going to vary from person to person depending on what stores you have around you to purchase your groceries. Maybe the cost of the food. Obviously, we know that everything is increasing, so maybe that changes a little bit what you have available for your groceries. But still, this is something that we very much can impact. So if over time you're sticking to what your diet is, if you're sticking to according to plan, that's making progress. Maybe the scale isn't going down. You're no longer restricting yourself of calories that you're consuming, which in the past, maybe you were sticking to a 1,200 calorie diet. And now you're trying to find ways to not restrict yourself, to actually fuel your body. That's making progress. Even if the scale isn't showing that, that's progress, a big progress. And the next one that I'll talk about is, which I've kind of already mentioned it actually, is your sleep. We know sleep is important. I feel like this is something that was spoken to us so much when we were growing up. Like, you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and that is so accurate. Obviously, I know that we have a lot of different responsibilities that might impact our sleep, but keep in mind that sleep will impact everything. So remember earlier when I said your energy levels, that's a good way to track whether or not you're making progress. Sleep will impact that. So if you're getting a full night rest of sleep, your energy levels the next day are going to be better. They're going to be increasing. Your workouts are not going to feel as exhausting because you have more energy throughout your workouts. So if you're not sleeping enough, your body is not able to recover workout to workout to workout. Your body's going to be under more stress, which, as we mentioned, decreasing the stress in your life and your body experiences, that's all great and a great way to track your progress. But that happens through sleep. Sleep impacts that. Sleep will impact your energy levels, your mood. I know for me, days that I maybe don't get enough sleep, the next day I'm so crabby, I'm not in a good mood, I just feel drained, exhausted, moody, nothing good. So I've been trying to improve my sleep, and that's a great way to track my progress. I've been going to sleep earlier. That's really the way that I can impact it, because obviously I work the next day, so I have to be up at a certain time. But like I mentioned, I know a lot of us have different responsibilities. Maybe you have 2 jobs, so your sleep is not the best. For those of you with kids, I know that's a big impact to your sleep quality and quantity. So if there's ways that you can improve that, I would say look for that and find ways to improve your sleep. The next one is very basic, your water intake. Has your water intake improved maybe from month to month, week to week? We know water is important. We know that we need this as it helps with our digestion, like our bowel movement. It helps with your skin. It helps modulate your appetite. water is very important. So if you're drinking more water, that's a great way to track your progress. If you used to not drink any water and now you drink, let's say, even if it's just 8 ounces, that's a good improvement. Obviously, you can do better, but progress is progress. Don't forget that. And then kind of with that would be your fiber intake. Are you eating micronutrient-dense foods? AKA, are you eating fruits? Are you eating veggies? I feel like we all know that eating veggies, eating fruit is healthy for you. Growing up, it was always ingrained in us in school, eat veggies, eat fruit, eat the rainbow, that kind of thing, because it helps with your bowel movement. They provide so many minerals and vitamins. Over time, have you been eating more fruits and more veggies? If so, you're making progress. Again, maybe the scale isn't changing. Maybe there are other areas that aren't improving, but if you're eating fruits, you're eating veggies more than what you used to, that's progress. With that, I could also say, are you eating more whole foods versus processed foods? Are you eating more quality food versus not? Again, are you eating fruit, whole grains, veggies, more whole food versus processed? I'm not saying that processed food is terrible, that it's the devil, that it's poison for you, but are you eating more whole foods versus processed foods? The next way to track your progress is your performance in the gym. Are you getting stronger? Are you able to control the weight better? Are you sticking to your actual program that you're supposed to be following? Are you more energized throughout the day or during your workout? Again, energy levels that we discussed earlier. Is your form improving? These are all questions that you can ask yourself to determine whether or not your performance in the gym has been improving. With that, we could also include your frequency of training. Maybe when you first started your fitness journey, you were only working out 1 day a week. Now maybe you're working out 3 days, maybe 4 days, 5 days. Have you been gradually increasing the amount of time that you spend working out? Has it become part of your lifestyle versus a chore, something that you have to do? Are you enjoying what you're doing? Not necessarily just are you moving more in the gym. I would also include, are you moving more throughout your day? Yeah, it's great. You're spending an hour at the gym, you're working out. But what about the other 23 hours of your day? Do you just work out, you come home and you sitting all day at your desk at work? So are you increasing the amount of movement that you do? Not just working out. Are you getting more steps in? Are you going on walks at the end of your day? Maybe at the beginning of your day. So there are other ways of movement, of increasing your exercise frequency. I'm not just referring to your working out, but your movement overall. With everything that I just mentioned, maybe another way that you can track your progress is changes in your mindset, changes in your habits, your overall daily habits. Again, we could also include, are you moving more throughout your day? That's a good habit to have. Are you going on walks? Are you prioritizing your mental health? Are you more confident? Are you more relaxed around fitness and food in general? For example, maybe the scale isn't going down, but the thought of going out to dinner with your friends doesn't scare you anymore because you know that you've been working on your health, you've been working on your fitness, and the thought of being off track for one meal no longer scares you, no longer terrifies you. That is a great way to see and to know that you're making progress. Are you living an overall better lifestyle than when you first started? One of the benefits that I could say that I got from working out, from lifting in general, was my confidence. It really helped me develop my confidence and be more sure of myself than when I first started working out. So yeah, I would say that that's a great improvement that I had. Maybe scale hasn't changed much, maybe your strength hasn't changed much, but if you feel more confident in yourself and who you are, that's a great progress. And the thing is, like, sure, you can rely on just the scale if you wanted, but if the scale isn't going down or going up, depending on your goals, that might not help you feel motivated to continue, or maybe it'll just make you quit overall. When you have multiple ways to track your progress, even if one thing maybe isn't changing, one thing isn't having much progress, other things that I just mentioned, maybe one out of all those other things is showing that you're making progress. That's why I'm saying don't rely on just one way to track your progress. Look at the overall picture. And again, I reference a scale because I feel like that's the one thing that a lot of us use when we're trying to determine whether or not we're making progress. But let's say that the scale hasn't changed, but you can go to a birthday party and enjoy the food, enjoy a piece of cake without restricting yourself or without feeling guilty because you enjoyed this activity. Your relationship with food has changed. Your relationship with food has progressed, has improved, but the scale isn't telling you that. You see what I'm saying? Maybe your nutrition or your food choices haven't changed much, but you're working out now. That's progress. And remember, progress comes in different shapes and in different ways. Use these fitness progress trackers that I've mentioned and think about which ones you can improve or focus on. Keep track of your progress with each one. Maybe 1 month you want to focus on, let's say, improving your sleep. Then the next month you move on to something else once your sleep is good. Maybe you'll increase the amount of veggies or fruits that you eat throughout the day. And then once you've progressed in that, you move on to the next. Maybe there's one point that completely didn't even cross your mind as a way to track your progress. Maybe your sleep or your water intake. Start with those and find ways to improve your progress with that specific one. Now, I do have a little activity for you guys today. In the comment sections, I want you to tell us which out of everything I've mentioned today, or maybe I missed one, tell us 1 to 2 points that you want to focus on for the next couple of months. Are there any that you know you should be focusing on, but you're choosing to ignore? Speak it into existence down in the comments and let's hold each other accountable. And I also wanted to take some time to talk about my fitness program that I released. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you already know that I recently released a workout program, Fuerza 23. It is an 8-week workout program and it's all completed in the gym because it does require equipment that you'd find in the gym. It's broken down into 4 days with a 5th day that's optional for you. And each exercise comes with a video demonstration. So you click on the name of the exercise, it brings you over to a video of how to perform the exercise. I also include written directions on how to complete the exercise, as well as you can hear me explaining how to do the exercise. I would say that the program is maybe a beginner to intermediate, but you can always continue this after the 8 weeks and just build from there and continue to make adjustments. So if you head over to my website, gainstrength.net, on the top little navigational bar, you'll see something that says workout program. If you click on that, I'll also add a link in the description below. But if you click on that, it'll kind of explain a little bit more in detail what the program's about, what you can expect to get from the program. This is not a one-on-one coaching. It's a program. You basically purchase it, you download it, and you get to work. Of course, I'm always open. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here. But with that, I will wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet, and I will catch you guys on the next video.